fascinating places around the world that are totally forbidden to visitors. Some areas of our globe are still essentially unexplored or have even been forgotten, despite the fact that some of us are hooked on space travel and conquering Mars. Other places contain military installations, espionage secrets, or are even off-limits to the general public because they are legally haunted. See the list of 10 amazing locations that are strictly prohibited to visit below. Number 1. Room 39, North Korea. Room 39 is one of the most covert entities in perhaps the most secretive state in the world, according to writer Kelly Olson. According to some reports, Room 39, which was reportedly founded in the late 1970s and is supposed to be housed inside the Workers' Party building in Pyongyang, got its name from the early day office it had at the party's headquarters. Number 2. The Coca-Cola Vault in Atlanta, United States. Coca Secret Cola's recipe is one of the best-kept secrets in the world, and the company keeps it that way by stashing it away in a sizable security vault. This recipe has been tightly guarded since it was developed in Atlanta in 1886 by John Pemberton, and only a select few people have managed to obtain it. A group of businessmen led by Ernest Woodruff bought the soft drink and the business in 1919, and starting in 1920, the recipe was kept secret at a New York bank. It was given to the Atlanta Trust Company Bank in 1925. In 2011 the company decided to move the famous Coca-Cola recipe to an Atlanta museum, but while many tourists visit the facilities each year, few and exclusive are the people who can get through the doors of the vault. Number 3. Snake Island or Queimada Grande, Brazil. This island, which is roughly 100 kilometers off the coast of São Paulo, could seem like the perfect exotic location to get lost, but it has been fully overrun by deadly snakes for decades, rendering it uninhabitable. The island has a density of 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. The snakes that inhabit here are among the most deadly in the world, as if that weren't terrible enough. The flesh surrounding its bites can be destroyed by the golden lancehead viper's powerful, quick-acting venom, which can grow to a length of up to half a meter. Number 4. North Sentinel, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Despite being smaller and less well-known than the other islands in this archipelago, North Sentinel, which is covered in mangroves and coral, has largely escaped the attention of the outside world. Although the island may sound like paradise, nothing could be further from it. Its location makes it one of the most remote places on Earth, but one of the last uncontacted tribes in the world calls it home. The Sentinelese, who are this island's native population, have hardly been influenced by contemporary culture. Violence has always been used to interact with the populace throughout history. They killed 2 fishermen in 2006 whose boat had been pulled to their shores by the current. According to The Guardian, a 3-mile restriction zone prevents visitors from entering the territory. According to Survival, an NGO for the rights of indigenous and tribal peoples, the Indian government has abandoned any plans to contact the Sentinels. The entire tribe could be wiped out by diseases to which they have no immunity, which is why authorities respect their wish to remain uncontacted. Number 5. Bhangar Fort, India. In Rajasthan, between Jaipur and Alwar, there are the remains of a once brilliant empire. The Amber Kachwaha king constructed the fort in 1573 for his youngest son, and over time, fewer and fewer people lived there until a severe famine in 1783 caused the last of the village residents to leave. According to local myth, the fort was cursed, which is why the kingdom fell into ruin. According to the Times of India, this is the only officially acknowledged haunted location in India, and entry is only permitted with a government permit before sunrise or after sunset. Although it's said that the reason is down to wild, nocturnal animals such as tigers and the lack of artificial lighting in the area, no one knows what else could be lurking in the ruins. Number 6. North Brother Island, United States. Millions of visitors arrive in New York each year, ready to explore every part of the city but one. Since all of North Brother Island's structures are in a severe condition of decay, access is prohibited without prior authorization. The abandoned buildings and remnants of what was once the city's quarantine hospital are still being consumed by nature within. The history of North Brother Island, which was first claimed in 1614, is entwined with death and illness. During the 1880s and as late as the 1940s, the location served as a quarantine for people with highly dangerous diseases. The morgue on the island housed all the deceased. It served as a drug rehabilitation facility starting in 1951. In 1963, North Brother Island was abandoned, becoming the property of New York City Department of Parks and Recreation, which now manages the site as a bird sanctuary. Number 7. Diego Garcia, British Overseas Territories. The U.S. Navy, which has a sizable military facility there, views Diego Garcia as a crucial strategic asset given its location between East Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. The Guardian reports that some of the most significant floating black sites operated by the CIA may be situated in this region. The British government drove some 2,000 Chagosians out of the atoll before leased it to the United States for 50 years during the Cold War because the island wasn't deserted. These locals were forcibly relocated to Mauritius, the Seychelles, and other British colonies between 1968 and 1973. Since then, the islanders have unsuccessfully demanded the right to return to their homes. Diego Garcia's tenancy expired in 2016. But the UK has extended the contract for another 20 years. Number 8. The Whites Club, UK. Amazingly, there are still some places in the world where women are not allowed to enter. The best recognized of these are arguably gentlemen's clubs, which are especially common in British culture. Political figures, leading bankers, and even British monarchy successors are among the members of the Whites Club, which was established in 1693 and is situated at 37 St. James Street in Piccadilly. Only Queen Elizabeth has ever been able to enter due to the severe admission restrictions on women. According to The Telegraph, in 2013 David Cameron voluntarily left the select club, saying, "I'm dismayed the club does not accept women as members. I find that inexplicable in this day and age, I really do." The membership of London's oldest and most elitist gentlemen's club has shrunk to 500, and its bar is said not to have closed for 200 years. Number 9. Surtsey Island, Iceland. Due to the recent volcanic eruption that built the island of Surtsey in Iceland, scientists have had the rare opportunity to watch an ecosystem develop from scratch. Its access is restricted to a small portion of the world due to this exciting event. Surtsey, one of the world's newest islands, was created in 1963 as a result of a powerful volcanic eruption that occurred 32 kilometers south of Iceland. Since then, the island's size has been shrinking as a result of wind and water erosion. Surtsey could reach sea level by the year 2100, according to research by the Surtsey Research Society, based on the present pace of erosion. Bacteria, fungi, and molds were the first to arrive on the island. Subsequently, the number of animal and plant species increased exponentially. According to UNESCO, at present, it's estimated that around 89 species of birds and 335 invertebrates populate the area. In order not to alter this development, only researchers are allowed to visit the island. Number 10. Jiangsu National Security Education Museum, China. In 2009, China's National Spy Museum first opened its doors. The Jiangsu National Security Education Museum is a museum that showcases the history of espionage and covert intelligence agencies from the early years of the Chinese Communist Party through the late 1920s. It is situated in Nanjing. While it may sound interesting to check out camouflage weaponry, surveillance cameras, or listening devices, the museum isn't wholly accessible to the general public. Foreigners are strictly prohibited from entering.